Infographics in writing. What's an infographic? An infographic is a mix of images, charts, and text found in print and on the internet, and a lot of times on your phone. The cool thing is, like traditional data visualizations, there are charts and statistics, information that is numerical. But infographics adds images, and they try to tell a story with those images and the numbers put together to make the information more easily digestible. You can learn about global warming, what it does to your body. You can even learn about tigers all around the world, or what happens to your poop when it's different colors. A lot of times we see infographics with science, as well as when math is involved, like statistics or some type of statistical analysis. Also health and health-related ideas and concepts. Really anything where there's numbers involved. But how does that help us as writing teachers? No matter how much we personally love writing, our goal is to get kids writing. And often as kids get older, writing is no longer accompanied with pictures, but instead just a page filled with words. That does not make every student happy. When you incorporate infographics, you can engage, motivate, and inform your students. Let's take a step back. You can use infographics instead of a textbook. It helps kids visualize what is being talked about, and it gives the information in maybe smaller chunks. This is especially good for English language learners and kids in special education. Once kids see it, then they can be creative and make their own. They can inform with their infographics, and let's face it, they're kind of fun to make. And most of us use some type of graphic organizer. We know that this is a fun way to kind of get kids started on the right track. If you're choosing to write about a character or do some type of character analysis, often we start with a graphic organizer like a character web. We take the information from the web and then we can put that in paragraph form. For kids that struggle with writing, this is a great way to get started and introduce them to the concept of main idea in detail and to get them to write longer and longer passages. On a standard character web, you have 6 bubbles. That could be 6 whole sentences. For your students that struggle, it's a great head start. And so now we take this idea of a character web and we can quantify that qualitative information. All we have to do is list a few character traits. If you started off with a character web, maybe just choose 3 of the character traits. Now, can we go through the text, finding evidence of those character traits? Sure. We can write them down, and then we can tally them. In doing so, we're taking that qualitative information and quantifying it. Once that's complete, we can chart it. Using the tally marks, we can figure out, well, how many times did this character display bravery? Once we quantify it, graph it, now we have an infographic. It'll be easy to just glance at the chart to see, oh, this character was mostly brave. Or in the case of John Henry, we saw that his character trait of being strong was evidenced in the passage more often than the other character traits we came up with of hardworking and caring. Infographics are great too because they can become cross-curricular critical thinking practices. If you're studying immigration and social studies, well, you can graph reasons that people come to America, how they come to America, and then they can turn that into an essay about immigration. Or you can use it as an assessment. Let's say you're doing a biography project or a social studies project, and each student has chosen a president to research. Traditionally, we have given kids outlines or templates and said, okay, take the information you read and turn it in an essay. to demonstrate your knowledge of this person. But let's think back to maybe struggling writers, struggling readers, or ESL students. Might not an infographic, which would display both visually and with some words the same information, be an alternative method to see exactly what kids have learned? And that's not to say that the information on the infographic and the research that maybe some of your higher level kids did could not be turned into a traditional written essay or biography. For this particular project, all of us did Theodore Roosevelt together. After we read the information about him, we kind of brainstormed as a class, what are some images that could go along with the facts that we found out? After we brainstormed, I put those images together, put them on the board, and kids had a chance to draw the ones that they wanted to highlight in their infographic about Theodore Roosevelt. The next step was the You Do, where students had to read up on a president that they chose, think of images that go along with the facts that they came up with, and then put that together in their own independently created infographic. This is a project that worked very well with my ESOL students at the time and my special ed students. Lastly, I want to tell you about canva.com. It's a fun resource that students can use to create digital versions of infographics. This might be good for your bump up students that are ready for a little bit more of a challenge. There are thousands of templates to choose from, and kids can use some more of those critical thinking skills to match up a template with the topic they're talking about. Thanks for watching, and here are a few digital examples of student work.